Have you ever stood at someone's funeral, watching the slideshow of their life, and whispered to yourself, I should have said it more. I should have told them I loved them one more time. Hi, I'm Marcus, and welcome to the Marcus Smart Channel, where we talk honestly, gently, and sometimes painfully about life after 60, the things we carry, the things we wish we'd done differently, and sometimes the words we wish we had said out loud just once more. Today's topic is one that's quiet, but heavy, heavier than money, heavier than even health sometimes. It's about those 3 little words that could have changed the course of a relationship, or healed a wound long before it festered. I love you, and the regret of not saying them when we had the chance. I want you to picture something with me. A man in his late 60s sits alone at the kitchen table. The chair across from him is empty. There's a framed photo of a woman with soft eyes and a crooked smile on the wall, his late wife. Every morning he makes 2 cups of tea out of habit. Every night he whispers, "Good night, darling," into the silence. He told her he loved her, of course, on birthdays, anniversaries, maybe even in the hospital before she passed. But in the regular days, the quiet Tuesdays, the lazy Sundays, not often. And now it aches, that man. Could be any of us. You see, after 60 we start realizing that our relationships are no longer just a part of life, they are life. The phone calls from our kids, the laughter with our old friends, the touch of a partner's hand reaching for ours while watching TV, that's the real wealth. And yet, it's so easy to assume they know, to believe our presence is enough. They know I love them. But here's the hard truth. Sometimes people need to hear it, not just feel it. Do you know actor Anthony Hopkins? He once said in an interview that the biggest regret in his life wasn't about a movie role he lost. It was not telling his father how much he loved and respected him before he died. He said, I was raised to be tough, British, reserved, but inside, I was a boy who wanted to say I love you, and I never did. And now, I carry it with me like a stone. That stuck with me, because we all carry stones like that, don't we? Sometimes we don't say, I love you, because we think it's too late, or too awkward, or because we've never said it before, and it feels strange now. But here's what I want to ask you. What if today is the last ordinary day you'll ever get to say it? Think about the relationships in your life. Is there a child you've grown distant from? A friend you haven't called in years? A spouse sitting right next to you on the couch who hasn't heard those words in months? We often think love has to be big and dramatic. Grand gestures, reunions, tearful speeches. But most of the time, love is found in small, quiet things. Making someone tea, sitting beside them during a hard day, and yes, just saying it, I love you, with no expectations. No need to fix the past, just offering it like a gift, even if it's awkward, even if it's overdue. I remember reading about Maya Angelou. She was asked once what she would do differently if she could relive her life. And she said, I would have said I love you more often, and I would have meant it every time. Isn't that what we all want to say? In this video, we're going to talk about how those 3 words, when spoken from the heart, can repair, restore, and even revive relationships we thought were too far gone. We'll share real stories. We'll talk about fear. And most importantly, we'll talk about courage, the quiet kind, the kind it takes to make a phone call, to whisper something real, to start over. Because love doesn't expire with age. If anything, it becomes more urgent, more meaningful, and more powerful. Keep going. Sometimes we think we need the perfect moment to say, I love you. Like it has to come with music in the background, or during a grand life event. But real life rarely gives us those big, cinematic chances. It gives us small moments washing, dishes together, sitting in the car after groceries, saying goodnight in the dark. And too often, we let those moments slip. I remember talking to a retired nurse once, a woman in her 70s named June. She told me something that stayed with me ever since. She said, "You know, I spent my whole life caring for others, but I was always waiting for them to say it first. I didn't want to seem too emotional, too needy. I just waited. And then one day, they weren't there anymore, and the silence became deafening. That silence? It's a price too high to pay for pride or hesitation. And yet, I get it. It's not always easy to say those words, especially if we didn't grow up hearing them. Maybe your parents didn't say, 'I love you.' Maybe love in your family was shown through hard work, through putting food on the table and a roof overhead. Maybe in your generation, love was about actions, not words, but words matter too. Deeply. Neuroscientists have found that when we hear affirming words like, 'I love you,' 'I'm proud of you,' 'you matter to me,' our brains actually respond in a physical way. Our stress lowers, our heart rate steadies, our emotional centers light up. That's not just poetry, it's biology. So when you say, 'I love you,' you're not just filling the air. You're soothing someone's nervous system. You're making them feel safe, seen, valued. And here's the beauty of it. The more you say it, the easier it becomes. One man I interviewed for this channel, a widower named Mr. Bennett, told me how awkward it felt when he first started telling his adult son, 'I love you,' at the end of every phone call. He said his son would pause and just sort of mumble back, 'You too.' But a few months in, his son beat him to it. 'Love you, Dad.' And then it became their thing. Their bridge. Love builds bridges, even over decades of silence. And it's not just for family. Have you ever told a friend you love them? I know it sounds strange at first, but why? Why should only romantic love or family love be worthy of words? Some of the most meaningful relationships we have in later life are with friends. A neighbor who checks in, a church buddy, that one person who sends you a card every birthday. Even now, tell them, just say, 'You mean a lot to me.' Or, 'I love having you in my life.' You'll be surprised how much it matters. And what if the person you want to say it to is no longer here? Well, you can still say it. Out loud, write it in a letter. Whisper it to the sky. That kind of love never stops mattering. And it never stops healing. Take Paul McCartney, for example. In an interview years after John Lennon's death, Paul shared that he still sometimes says, 'I love you,' to John in his head. He said, 'I used to find it hard to say that when we were younger, but now I say it freely. I think he hears me.' We don't have to wait until someone is gone to realize how much they mean to us. There's something incredibly powerful about giving someone their flowers while they're still around to smell them. So here's what I invite you to do. Think of one person in your life who hasn't heard, 'I love you' from you in a long time. Maybe ever. Call them. Write to them. Walk up to them and say it. You don't need a reason. Love is the reason. In the next part, we'll talk about the walls we've built over time, why vulnerability is so hard after 60, and how those walls may be keeping us from the very connection we crave, because the longer we live, the more we realize it's not the possessions, not the trophies, not the regrets that matter most. It's the relationships, the words, the moments we didn't let pass. Let's keep going. You know, somewhere along the way, maybe after the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the things left unsaid, we start to build walls, not the obvious kind, the quiet kind, the kind that tells us, don't be too soft, don't say too much. They already know how you feel. And maybe, after 60, those walls have been up so long we've forgotten how it feels to live without them. I once spoke to a man named Richard, 72 years old, tough as nails type, a Vietnam veteran, father of 3. He said, "You know, Marcus, I used to think love was something you did. You paid the bills. You fixed the car. You showed up. But saying it, that felt ... unnecessary, almost weak." Then one day, his daughter mid-40s, divorced, struggling, called him crying. She said, "Dad, I just need to hear you say it, that you love me." "Please," he said. He froze. Not because he didn't love her, but because he had spent decades not knowing how to say it. And in that moment, he realized something powerful. The longer you wait, the heavier the words become. He told me, I whispered it, quiet as a mouse, but I said it. And she cried like a child. And I thought to myself, why did I wait so long? The truth is, we don't just fear being vulnerable, we fear being misunderstood. That if we suddenly start saying, I love you at 65, people will ask, what's wrong? Are you sick? But what if we flip that? What if saying, I love you, didn't mean something was wrong, but that we were finally getting something right? Brené Brown, a well-known researcher and author, said something that hit me hard. She said, vulnerability is not weakness. It's the most accurate measure of courage. And courage, well, you've got it. You've made it through life's storms, through losses, illnesses, betrayals, changes in your body, your family, your finances. You're still here. So why hold back the one thing that costs nothing, but means everything? And here's something else saying, I love you, doesn't always need to be about romance or dramatic confessions. Sometimes it's as simple as leaning over to a friend and saying, hey, I really value you. Or ending a phone call with, I love you. Just wanted you to know. We live in a world that moves fast. Too fast. We scroll past each other. We message, but we don't connect. And yet, we all long for the same thing, to be seen, to be heard, and to be loved. So when you say it, really say it, you're giving someone the one thing the world seems to have less and less of: presence, authenticity, that deep reminder that they matter. And don't underestimate how powerful it can be for you, too. I've heard stories from seniors who started making it a daily practice, saying, I love you, in the mirror, saying it to their grandkids, to the partner beside them, to the ones who didn't say it back. They told me it changed them, not just their relationships, but their health, their outlook, their sense of peace. Because when you stop bottling up love, you stop bottling up fear. You stop carrying all that pressure in your chest, in your shoulders, in your breath. You start softening, and you begin to feel free. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this. You are never too old to start loving out loud, no matter how many years have passed, no matter how long you've been silent, no matter how awkward it might feel. At first, you are still here. And love, real love, is always worth the risk. Let's keep going. Maybe you're sitting there right now thinking, it's too late. Maybe the person you wish you'd said, I love you to, is already gone. Maybe the silence between you and someone you care about has stretched so long, you're not sure how to break it. But here's something I want you to hold on to. Love isn't just about the past. It's not just about what wasn't said. Love is about now. It's in the call you can still make, the letter you can still write, the hug you can still offer, the grandchild you can still say it to without needing a reason. And even if someone is no longer here, love still has a place to go. You can still speak it aloud, whisper it at night, write it in a journal. Honor it in how you live from this day forward. A woman named Evelyn once shared something that stuck with me. She said, I spent most of my life waiting for others to say, I love you first. Now I say it first. And more often than not, it comes right back to me. But even when it doesn't, it still frees something in me. That's what this is really about. It's not about chasing a response. It's about living without regret. It's about not letting pride win over peace. It's about choosing softness in a world that often rewards hardness. And if you're worried about looking too emotional or too sentimental, let me tell you, you've earned the right to be emotional. You've lived enough, lost enough, and loved enough to know what truly matters. I'll say it clearly, there's no medal for holding back affection. No trophy for keeping your heart sealed up. But there's something priceless in telling someone, I love you, and meaning every word, not because they earned it, not because it's perfect timing, but simply because. You still can . And if you're still unsure where to start small. Next time you end a call, just say it. Next time someone does something kind, say, you know, I really love having you in my life. Say it to your spouse as they're reading the paper. Say it to your reflection in the mirror. Say it in the silence of your bedroom, where only your heart can hear it. Because here's the truth. Regret is heavy, but love is light. And right now, this very moment, you can choose one over the other. Before we end, let me thank you for spending your time with me today. If this message touched you, I invite you to share it with someone you love or someone you haven't told that to in a while. And if you haven't already, I'd be honored if you joined this growing community here on Marcus Smart Channel, where we talk about the things that matter most: health, emotions, legacy, and life's deeper questions. After 60. Click that subscribe button. Leave a comment below and let me know. Who is the one person you wish you had said, I love you to more often? Or maybe it's not too late. You still have time. Because love doesn't expire with age. It expands with courage. So here's to living without fear, to speaking the words that heal, and to loving louder starting today. Take care of your heart. And don't forget to tell someone you love them before the day ends.